Welcome, folks, to another episode of Silverback Talks. Tonight, we've got the biggest crowd we've had so far join us. Three guys I've had the pleasure of really getting to know over the last several months, and been looking forward to this show. And it's Beau Horner, Nathan Middlebrooks, and Scott Aguglia.
Glad to be here.
Fellas, welcome. Thank y'all for hopping on. Thank you to your families, too, for allowing y'all to be able to step aside for 35, 40 minutes. I know how hard it is sometimes, especially in the middle of the week, to set this time apart from them to get away. So I really appreciate y'all taking the time to get on the show. First and foremost, let's just jump right into it and, kind of tell in case folks aren't familiar with you, I'm still new to the game, but folks aren't familiar with you, tell you who you are, where you're pulling out of. Nathan, we'll start with you, bud.
All right. Yeah, I'm Nathan Middlebrooks. I'm pulling out of Newport, Tennessee right now. I'm from Michigan originally, but I've been in Tennessee for the last 7 years.
Scott?
Oh, there we go. Scott Aguglia. I know my name's a little tricky. I'm pulling out of Pittsburgh, PA. I've been doing this for a little over 5 years, gentlemen. I've lived in multiple states. Just moved back from Florida. I pulled down there. That really kind of got everything going for me. Now I'm pulling, like I said, right here in Pittsburgh and represent East Ohio arm wrestling too as well, guys.
PA arm wrestling is a beast in its own. The Northeast arm wrestling is huge too. That's why I'm going to put the East Coast against all. I'm going to be honest with you, from Northeast to now the Southeast going into Florida. I'm putting the East Coast on. That's
Mm-hmm.
And Beau, you're well known to me, but tell everybody about you too, Beau.
All right. Well, my name's Beau Horner. I'm born and raised in Kaiser, West Virginia. Still live here now. I'm 26. I've been arm wrestling for about almost 3 years now, and I've been competitive in the pro class for close to a year now. I dabbled in the pro when I first started, but those guys were levels above me. But now I'm really starting to hang with them and do pretty good.
I'd say you're number 198 in the state of West Virginia right now. That's okay.
Number 2.
You're 2?
Yeah, Junior Halter is number 1 at 198 right hand. He's a 70-year-old beast, man.
I was getting ready to say, can't you just tell Junior to move on to Masters and just kind of give it to you? Let him just let him take the Masters over.
Honestly, Junior's probably one of the best on the planet over 70 years old.
I've had the pleasure of seeing Junior pull at several events, everywhere from Oak Ridge, Tennessee to the barn. He was at the barn once. To up there, Percival. I'm not sure how you pronounce it up your way. Yeah. Seeing him pull it, he is an absolute stud, man.
Animal.
He's just an absolute stud. Well, like I said, welcome, fellas. It's nice to have y'all from all different parts of the country too. Scott and Beau a little further up north, and me and Nathan down here in the south. But good to have us all on here and setting the time. Let's get into your training regimen. Me for one, I do a lot of gym lifting, probably on the table once a week, which is probably light compared to a lot of people. Scott, we'll start with you first, man. What's your typical training like?
Yeah, and it's kind of like the same as you said. I do. I try to get on the table like I'd say once a week. Maybe sometimes it's like 2 out of 10 days. It depends. I was dealing with the crew with the East Ohio on the table there. I kind of went a little bit of a different direction. I'm working with the Doom crew out of West Virginia. That's John Winkler, Paul Talbot, and company now. As far as working out, I try to go heavy 2 times a week. I have a recovery day, and then I have a medium day. Then I have table time. That's pretty much it, guys. Try to get in 5.
Yeah,
that's it for me.
Beau, how about yourself?
Well, for me, so I do chest try, and then I'll do a back bi, and then I'll do a shoulders day. And on in between my lifts as well as at the end of my lift, I always do some type of full arm or wrist workout, whether it's wrist wrench, pronation exercises, multi-spinner, cone handle. I try and hit all the vectors, hit it as many angles as I can. Table time wise, I just got a new setup in my gym, like in my garage, and it's really been doing really well for me. I've been able to hit a lot more table time throughout the week. Right now I'm doing about 2 days to 3 days a week working on the table, and then I'll do a practice on Sunday. And it's been seeming to do a lot of benefits for me. And then
Yeah.
I've been also doing, to keep my weight down, I was drinking a lot, but I cut back my drinking about 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And I've been doing the intermittent fasting for the past little over 3 months. And I went from like 228.5 down to Winter Blast. I was down to 197.5. But before I started this, I weighed 202s. And I'm maintaining right around 205, 204 right now.
What's
So
your
easy cut to
split?
198.
What's your
What?
fasting split? How long? How many hours are you on? How many are you off?
How many what?
How many hours are you on, and how many hours are you off when you intermittent fast?
Oh, it's the 8-16. I eat from 11 to 7, and then I fast from 7 to 11 the next day at work.
Yeah, I
It
did
works well, man. As long as you're really.
I tried it once. I lost a ton of weight just when I was really heavy, and I ate between 12 and 6. So I did 18 and 6. I tried to do.
Okay.
It's hard though, man. But if you go to bed early, it's not as hard. If you can manage to go to bed early, but if you stay up late, eating before 6 is a bitch. I'm just gonna be honest.
And the snacking's what really gets people before they go to bed. Everybody wants to snack before they go to bed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So as long as you can be fine with being hungry, it's pretty easy.
I've got a pack of Oreos with Nathan's picture on it. Is what I snack on. Nathan, tell us about your training regimen. I mean, tell us every little single detail about your training regimen, everything.
So I'm fortunate to have a bunch of pulley systems in the basement. You know,
yeah, I see that. Yeah,
I've acquired over the years. Got my table at home, of course. But you know, I'm constantly on the go, and I constantly carry bands. Everywhere I go, I got heavy bands with me. If I'm not doing something at work, you know, heavy band the whole time. Whether I'm working Pro Nation, Supination, always doing something in the car, at work, at home. I've had them next to the crapper before, you know.
Yeah.
Bands everywhere. That's always worked for me. I'm a big pull-up guy. I do a lot of pull-ups and dips. You know, I really feel like that helps. And for a bigger guy, I can crank him out pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Diet wise, you know, I'm fortunate. I'm to be honest, I eat all day long.
Go to hell.
Most of the time I can maintain the weight that I need with the exercise that I put involved. I've been very fortunate to eat what I want, usually when I want.
Nice. I've mentioned this before. I'm a natural fatty. Like if I don't watch what I eat, I will pack on it. It was nothing for me to be 235, 240 if I'm not careful. So I have to eat strict. I'm heavy protein, like 95% carnivore, but I do struggle, like Beau mentioned. I struggle with the sweets late at night. I'm type 2 diabetic, so I struggle with that insulin craving it late at night. So that's probably my biggest weakness. I have to have something sweet. And what I went to is like that Oikos. This is one of my where I'm not carnivore. Is that Oikos Pro yogurt? It's like 20 grams of protein and only like 8 carbs or something like that. 2 grams of sugar. So I was like, that's about as good as you're going to do for a late night snack.
I'm a big cottage cheese man.
Yeah,
cottage cheese goes a long way in my house.
Yeah. So pull ups and dips and stuff. So that's not something I do much of at all, man. I think, and truthfully, I don't even know it's because I couldn't at this point because I'm so much stronger. Being just a bigger boy growing up, it's not something I ever incorporated into my workouts ever. So
dude, bodyweight exercises are really, in my opinion, they're beneficial for arm wrestling.
Yeah.
I agree, guys. I'm huge on the pull-ups. Actually, I just got not to change. Well, actually, it's on the same subject. I got the Country Crush 3-inch doubles. Hitting that with pull-ups. I mean, that will set your world on fire, man. That's something else. You're lucky to squeeze out 8, 9 on that one.
They basically was talking about, you wrap the bars in the thick towels and just kind of hold on and when you're doing your pull-ups, just to build that grip and that forearm strength as well.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, cool. 3 just very different workouts there. So let's get into like our most recent events. I know, Beau, you just pulled at the not sit downs, but you did the what was before that at Devon? What was that, East versus West?
Yeah, the East versus West qualifier. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you took first right hand, I know, right?
Yeah, my left is injured right now. I actually injured it last year at that East Ohio competition. I injured it before there, but I just kept pulling, just being dumb, and just kept making it worse and worse. And I realized that last competition I need to take some time off. So I heard it right here at the beginning, and then now after one of my matches, I feel it right in the back of my hand here. And I've been doing pumpkin training. I've been working just my right. So
That a
it
boy.
feels really
That's
weird.
boy.
Yeah, it feels really weird because like my whole life I have a lifting background. So to go from doing both arms, everything equal my whole life to one arm, everything feels really weird. But I like it. But were you also asking about the rest of the competition I've done this year, or just
Well, well, your most recent was, yeah, I think that was a big one for you. You did damn good at that one. Nathan, what was the most recent one you've had?
Most recent, I probably be the New Way Combat Sports Festival in Gatlinburg. I think James Reed puts them on.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yep.
I took third both hands. It wasn't a super big turnout, you know, but I mean, still came home with some medals.
Now your left, you've talked about it a couple times. Your left is your dominant, though, right?
Yeah,
You'll pull the right hand, but your left is your
left is a lot more dangerous on the table. Yeah. I know I have you right-handed, but I'm still confident.
Oh, good. As you should be, man. As you should be. And Scott, what's the most recent you've been at?
Oh man, guys, I really got nothing to brag about. I had a super match lined up, best of 5 with Tim Lewis over in East Liverpool. That was back in November 18th, and I unfortunately suffered a weird ass injury. Believe it or not, I tore an abductor muscle, which normally never happens in the sport. But how I did my footwork and I wrapped my leg a certain way with Tim's height, because I'm pretty tall, I'm 6'3". I figured that was like the best advantage for me in that case scenario, and I ended up tearing that on round 2. So now that's pretty much it. I haven't really did much. We did a small tournament in Ohio. Ended up thinking there wasn't that much competition there. I mean, there was, but there really wasn't. So I did it overall on that one, and I'm just basically healed up. I'm 99.9%, so ready to get back on that table, boys. So.
It's gonna be fun. You've got I'm very familiar with Bradley Doby. Not so much left, but Bradley and I've pulled many times right-handed. Practiced together a lot. I did lose to his left at a early event last year. I want to say it was January of last year, something like that. I lost to him left-handed in a tournament, but that guy. He's one of the hardest workers in the game at our level. I was
just going to say that, Alan. I tell you what, I see his hard, good work, and that pays off, boys. That pays dividends. I mean, be quite honest with you. I saw, like, after we kind of booked that card, I saw what he was doing, and I was like, "OF." I'm like, I'm going to step up this game. I'm not getting smoked by this mofo. That's how my term. Now, if he never showed me that type of stuff, I'd kind of coast along and see what I can do.
Yeah.
Now I'm trained up a better person. So thank you, Bradley Doby, if you're listening.
I've told him.
You made me an animal, bro.
I've accused him of overtraining a lot of times, because even with injury, he's going to train through injury, or me and him talked about, it's like the word injury, and actually Tim Lewis was saying in one of our group chats today, is like people overuse the word injury, and I agree with that. We overuse the word injury. I think you go through you pull through discomfort. You know what I mean? And I think you stop at pain. You got to understand the difference between discomfort and pain, and you stop
on the money there
and work through discomfort, but you stop at pain, and that's where a lot of people mess up. And that's kind of where I'm at with my left. I tweaked it and then didn't rest. I'm not gonna say I tweaked it. I damaged it towards some tendons at Oak Ridge, and then didn't rest it. And I mean, I've basically retired my left just because I can't. My 14-year-old daughter, I can't give her back pressure.
I got you.
It hurts so bad. We talked about our most recent events, everything. The upcoming events. I know Beau, unfortunately, his match got canceled at the upcoming Tri-State this weekend, but Beau's still been an avid supporter of the tournament. Very appreciative of it. Promoting it and still, speaking highly of it. And God knows, I know he wished he could be there in Portland in his match. But he had a hell of a match with Adrian Morrison that I was excited about. And
I
me
was
and
looking forward to it. I was definitely looking forward to it.
Nathan and I talked about it. We was excited. He was like, man, he's like, after our match, we'll get there and wrangle up with all these studs in this 215 class because it was looking beastie, and
bro. Yeah, bro. I was really getting excited about it. Honestly, that match really lit a fire under my ass, and it really kicked me up another notch. You know what I mean? And I was really looking forward to it, and then unfortunately, due to circumstances, he wasn't able to make it. But it is what it is.
Things happen. I'm just glad he's able to get plenty of notice, and it wasn't last minute, and it wasn't an injury. I'm just glad it wasn't like a serious injury.
100%.
No, but,
by the way, I see some of my West Virginia boys in there. What's up, guys? I seen Jake, Dan, and Chris in there.
Yeah, what's going on, fellas? So I know if the folks that's watching this don't know, Nathan and I, we actually have a best of 5 right hand. We've talked a lot of smack going back and forth with on Facebook and whatnot. It's been great fun, humor, and everything. We're both so outlandish and ridiculous. It's clearly nobody can take us serious. So because we may be equally as ignorant as how I've been saying. I may have found my match with someone stupider than me.
I'm all about the show. I'm all about it.
But I'd be lying if I didn't say, Nathan's got me nervous though, because he's his style when I'm seeing the little footage he voluntarily gave me. I was like, I don't know if I went against this style. His style is very unique to Jacob Green's. I know Scott, you've pulled Jacob, but his style, and Jacob's my boy. Me and him I had Jacob look at it. I was like, tell me what you're seeing when it was looking at Nathan's. And Jacob's like, me, kind of. I was like, yeah, I know, man. That's what I see too. I was like, so it's gonna be a tough matchup for myself.
It's gonna be a good match.
It's gonna be a good match. Yeah, I was just gonna say, and you guys keep that going on because all that hype, I love each and every bit of it, man. You guys entertain me all like nonstop, man. I love it.
My daughters think I'm a complete moron as it is, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so do mine.
You're a dad, you know what I mean? You're a dad.
Yeah, Nathan was talking about earlier how he's got all his bands set up everywhere. So I know I sent Scott a picture the other day. I think Nathan sent one too. I've got bands set up in my truck where I'm driving down the road and I'm hitting it all the time. And I tell you what, that is very undervalued, I would think. Anybody that has that opportunity, I highly recommend setting that up, especially if you spend any kind of time on the road. I've got about a 35-minute one-way trip to work every morning.
Oh, yeah.
Really get my reps in.
That's what Paul Talbot does. Nothing but bands on the off workout days. Band.
Huh. I like it. Constant resistance.
Yeah.
I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm working the pronator and I just adjust it and I'm going back pressure with it, and I just alternate it back and forth.
Yeah, I had one in my car as well until one day I was doing it coming home from work, and then the band snapped.
I'm that every day. I am super worried. Yes.
Yeah, it happens.
And then we talked about Scott and Dobie, left hand. I don't know much about Scott's play. I know did you pull Jacob right or left hand? What did you pull?
That was left. It was left.
Yeah, you took Jacob left, and I know the horsepower Jacob has. It's just that Dobie's a completely different style. You really can't even compare the two styles.
Yeah, we talked today. Believe it or not, like he and I go back and forth, but all in all, he's like fam, man. He's cool as hell.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think. Yeah, we're pound for pound, height, weight, everything, dimensions lines up like parallel. Here's the thing. It comes down to experience. I've been I'm going to say the cage. I've been around the block a few times. I know he's up and coming and he's going to be somebody special. I'm interested. I want to know. How about that? I want to know I'll know right off the get on round 1, how the rest of the 5 is going to go or whatever, or 3, hopefully.
Yeah. I don't want to say too much about Dobie's, his style, and because I've probably pulled him as many times in a match right-handed as probably anybody he's went against. We've pulled each other a lot right-hand, and but his endurance, I will say, his endurance is top notch too. He wants to grind it out. He's gonna want it. He wants a grinder. I can promise you that.
Perfect. I'm excited for it, guys. Like seriously, I'm like, I wish it was like tonight. That's
Yeah.
how much I want it real quick.
I'm
Real
excited.
close. Real
I
close.
was thinking about taking tomorrow off just in prep to hit the road. It's like I don't know about y'all. I've got like a 7. How far is your drive, Nathan? You probably got longer than me.
4 hours and 45 minutes.
What?
5 hours.
I was saying,
You're lucky, lucky.
I'm 7+ hours.
Yeah, no, mine's not.
Oh,
I'm gonna probably leave around noon, get there about 5 o'clock, check in, hit the Hard Rock, and
That's what me and Lance was talking about doing Saturday night. When I saw Trace Atkins Friday night, and I was like, hey, that was my very first concert. I went to my grandpa when I was like 8 years old, 7 years old, was Trace Atkins. But yeah, so it's good. The matches we was talking about in our group chat earlier. The matches are still around too. I'm hoping Zach is still pulling right-handed. That's a hell of a match. I know he's injured left. I hate that didn't work out because I was really want to see him and Lance Hahn go at it. Lance is in my 176 round robin in May 18th, and he's coming up from Florida to pull in it. And I was really want to see he and Zach go.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Zach's not pulling.
Yeah. Well, I thought when he injured his left, he was just going to take a break in general. Yeah.
He's been taking a little bit of a break, but
yeah.
I could message him after this, and I can message you to let you know. But
yeah, I think if Randall doesn't know, he needs to know probably more than anybody. But
yeah.
I hate Tim Lewis and John Therion's not happening now.
yeah, so excited for that one too.
Yeah, it's disappointing.
Especially just because I was hoping that John, would pull the tournament as well afterwards.
Yeah, and I'm sure Tim will be in at 215. I know he'll be 215 left, but if he's going to go there, I'm sure he'll be pulling 215 right as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, John Therion is a stud.
Yes. Yeah.
That man is a stud. At Winter Blast, he really impressed me. Like his match with Dustin Jelliff, those two had wars on the table.
Oh yeah. I did watch that. I watched that replay. That was nasty.
It was awesome.
Well, I think the last time Robbie Russell met up with him, Robbie Russell creamed him.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Robbie's a bad dude.
Robbie's bad.
Robbie is a bad dude, and that's what I was looking at. Nathan's in the left hand. I'm in the right hand at the Great American Bash 198s in December. I was talking to Jacob Green about it today. Was looking at the names. I'm like, oh, cool. Adam Warzinski, Robbie Russell, Craig Tullier. I'll probably draw 2 of them first 2 rounds. It'll be a quick day for me. Beau, are you in that? Are you in the Great American Bash?
I was not there. No.
No, the one in December. It's going to be in December. Are you in it?
Oh, no, I'm not in it. No.
I'm surprised. I would have thought you would have hopped in it.
I didn't get asked or nothing.
Yeah.
I definitely get on, the waiting list in case people don't show,
Yeah, no, they didn't struggle until 198 and 220, but you know how injuries happen.
I think Luray brought in Canada. They're bringing a good amount of guys from Canada down for this event. So it's not going to be like 32 men in each class anymore. It's going to be who knows.
Yeah.
The dude keeps doing bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm not going to lie, Luray and him. Beast Mode Arm Wrestling just.
I enjoy his tournaments.
How far are you from them, Nathan? To pull with them, how far are you?
Oh gosh, hour 15 minutes. The only problem is them boys usually pull on Sundays, so it is rare when I get off on a Sunday to go over there and pull. But I love it every time. I tell you what, Justin Daughtry. I don't know if you guys have heard of him yet. Pulled him, but I think he's number 1, at least right hand 154 in Tennessee. I don't know about left hand. I know he's pretty high up, but he trains out there, with Landon Anderson and all them. And that dude, he's gonna be a bad dude at 154 pounds. I mean, he's stout.
Nice, real nice. Scott, I was talking to. I had Alec Guth on the other night. It was talking to him about PA arm wrestling, and it was a shame. He said they don't really have any state rankings. I'm like,
no, it drives me nuts, the guys. Yeah,
somebody needs to start some PA rankings. I mean, there's too much studs there not to have.
I agree.
I know, guys. I mean, seriously, like I was ranked real high up in Florida. I was North American ranked at one point in time, like 4 or 5 years ago. And then I moved back to PA. I'm like, man, let me talk to Paul Lynn or, Storm, Chelino. Let's figure something out. And no, nobody wants. It's a big pain in. I'm sorry to say this, big pain in the ass. The state's so broad, it's 400 miles, like side to side. It'd be easier to do like a West Virginia, Eastern Ohio, Western PA type. I don't know, ranking system, but that's a big pain in the ass too. So I don't know. Who cares?
The PA, that's Grondin and Shell and them, right? That's
Yeah.
PA. I'm
Mhm.
surprised I haven't led that up yet, and that might just be it's a yet thing. It might be.
Yeah. I know, right? You would think Bart would up north, in Erie and all those guys, that CYN guys, even though they're upstate New York, but they got PA Connect. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's we was talking about the other night, me and Alec, and then me and Grondin as well. I was like, God, I guess until you start talking about it, realize how loaded PA is.
Oh, dude, it's loaded.
And when
Pennsylvania's debatably, in my opinion, one of the top 2-3 best teams in like the country, like
Agreed.
states, not teams.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Maybe even number one.
Agreed. I put them there, and you got I think North Carolina's loaded person. Maybe I'm a little biased.
North Carolina's got some studs too.
Tennessee is very much just loaded. Obviously, all the names that we could throw out with start with beast mode, and I mean we could just keep going with all of them. But we talked about the tri-states, so let's get into the arm wrestling community a little bit. And I've been very vocal. I'm a transparent guy. The way I see transparency is if I go ahead and share all my stuff, it's most of it's stuff people already know anyways, local. The people that matter to me already know. So I might as well share it in hopes that, it can help someone else not make the same choices or whatever it is that I've ever done. Good or bad choice. I just give you the information. You do with that information as you choose. And, I come through the arm wrestling community. I started really seeing a lot of guys like me and could relate to so many people. Now, some of the people that I've met in the arm wrestling community in the last 2 years have become my closest of friends.
Yeah.
And I talk to them more than anyone else, with exception to my wife. And they've helped me through some serious stuff. And I've had a couple really have to have some man-to-man talks to me when I've slipped or been stupid. You know what I mean? And like, hey, don't digress, buddy. You're going backwards. So tell me, when you've been pulling, I know Scott, you've been around long enough. Talk a little bit about. We'll start with you, Scott, about what you've come across in the arm wrestling community, what it means to you.
Oh, again, Alan, man, it's a good question. It has a lot to do with what you just said. I'd call it like a brotherhood, man. I mean, I don't think there's a state other than Alaska where I can't hang my hat. Like, hey, man, I'm headed out your way. Let's train a little bit. Let's get some table time in. I'm coming through. I mean, shit, it's like a fraternity almost. I mean, like I said, I can't. Me coming from, I played college ball. I played football for Nebraska. I was a wideout. Of course, there's a huge brotherhood there. And that's what the arm wrestling community kind of reminds me of. And it's never going anywhere. It is what it is. And it's a beautiful thing. And I'm thankful to even be in this sport. And I'm thankful for all the people that I ran across, like you guys and everybody else that knows me. So that's it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. We took my daughter to her first college tour a few weeks back, and I was able to hit up a team down there towards Wilmington, North Carolina, and get in an hour and a half session with them while I was down there. It's like, I bet it doesn't matter which college I'm going to take her at. I'm sure I'm within, driving distance of a practice to hop over. All I got to do is just throw a post out there or think of someone in that area, and they're going to give me a name drop, and it's really cool to have. Nathan, how about yourself, bud?
One thing I love about the arm wrestling community is there's not a lot of judgment involved.
Bingo.
A lot of hard-headedness in the arm wrestling community, but no judgment. You find people from everywhere that arm wrestle. Definitely things to watch out for is staying out of bad positions. You know, I preach that all the time to definitely stay out of bad positions. Of course, now there's a lot of arm wrestlers that are good at bad positions once they get good, but staying out of bad positions is definitely a must. My personal arm wrestling community, is like honestly only 5 or 6 guys. Those 5 or 6 guys, I get over to the house every chance I can to pull. They've been very loyal to me, and I appreciate that. That's about it.
Yeah. You really nailed it with the first part. We are, they say, you check the ego at the door. And I say, yeah, we check the right ego at the door, but we all still have egos there at the table and egos in the room. But a lot of times we're not delivering it. We're not personifying it in a negative way most of the time. We're still, like you said, stubborn. We're stubborn as hell. Most of us are hard headed as hell, but we're not. We keep that arrogance pretty much at the door, and we're humble as hell. I'd say 95% of the people I've only come across a couple guys where I'm like, I'd really care not to see them around again. You know what I mean? That I really don't really want to. I'm not saying necessarily don't want to share a table with them, but I just don't like the vibe they put off. And there's been very, very, very few that I can even think of off the top of my head, but that's like that. But we all have egos, but I think we do a good job of we check the negative portion of that at the door before we come in the room. Beau, how about yourself, man?
So I love the community. Basically everybody I've came across, like, whether I'm facing them or just talking to them at the competitions, you become friends. Like as soon as someone gets pinned, it's shake their hands, pat them on the back, good job. You walk off the table, potentially go drink a beer with them or talk with them later. The sport gives a lot of people a purpose in life. Whether it's just getting back into the gym, gaining your strength up, losing weight, just in general, like a brotherhood. Like you make friendships with guys that could be 3 states away that you could talk to all the time. You
Yeah.
could ask them any question about anything. You know what I mean? Like I have multiple. Whenever I first got into the sport, I didn't know nothing. I was just doing bicep curls and dumbbell rows. You know what I mean? I didn't know much about arm wrestling. So you talk to people, ask them questions, figure out how you can get better. And by me doing that, I made a lot of connections. And it's helped me out a lot.
You talked about, talking to people 3 states over. I've got guys I talk to seriously, probably, I'm not going to say a couple all day that are not within 150 miles of me. And, we're going through the same similar crap. Man, let me tell you what happened when they're talking about their job and someone at their job. Hell, I know who they're talking about now. And, it's because you found somebody that you can relate to and talk about some of the same crap with through this. And it's really cool. And it's really cool when you can start turning them about the deep stuff, not just arm wrestling too.
Yeah. Like whenever I drive to practice, I have my own team, the Appalachian Arm Wrestlers in Kaiser. But then I drive out to Rockwood, PA for Zach Lee's team, and it's about an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes from me. And I try to go there every week, but depending on like church or family issues or whatever, I'll try to go at least twice a month, so every other week. But I'll go out there, drive an hour, 15, hour and 20, and I'm so close with the guys in that team out there. They're like brothers to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All of them treat me well. They help me out any way they can.
Yeah. Yeah. It's we've got that. I see a lot of that with North Carolina. I think one thing about North Carolina kind of got going for us is a lot of us are, you got the old heads that's been in it for several years, sure. But then it's like we had a wave of newness come through the state where all these guys are like 2 years in, 2 years or less in. So it's like we're kind of growing up together in the sport. So we're turning to one another as well. So, but the last topic I always like to end the show with is key, because I'm always taking the same advice as I'm asking this question with everyone, is what advice do you give new pullers? And so if you've been in it for a long time, you've got some really good advice, but I also think the ones that's in it new can kind of tell you, hey, where they screwed up and still fresh and what they would do different. And me personally, where I would have messed up, my entire team, we all started pretty much at the exact same time. That's cool. except you need to have someone, in my opinion, that knows their shit to get you started before you start getting hurt. Like Nathan
Yep.
said, make sure you stay out of the bad positions early in your, I'm gonna say career, but early in your venture of arm wrestling. Is get with the right people out the gate to teach you the right things, and guys that truly care, that will make sure you don't get hurt. But we'll start with you with the advice you'd give for new pullers.
Okay. So a lot of guys that I've came across, they're like me. You come in a sport, you want to win. You know, you want to be one of the best. And because of that, you're hard-headed. And you go into the competition, your first competition, you're like, I want to get first place on both arms, and I'm going to do the pro class and amateur class. Well, you know, you can do that, but you're going to get smoked in the pro class, and in the amateur class, you're just going to be relatively dead. You know, so what I
Yeah.
would recommend for a new guy, go to your first competition. Don't expect to win, hope to win, but just make it a goal to win one match on both hands.
Yeah.
If you can win one match your first competition on either arm, that's a win in the book. You know what I mean?
Small
Anything more than that, if you place top 3, that's a bonus. You win, that's even better, completely better. You're probably a stud.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. Second thing, find a local team around your area. It's relatively easy. You can find a team within 1 to 2 hours most of the time. Just go on a 98% arm wrestling, and you can find a team, or the Arm Bet app, and find a team that really knows what they're doing, not just guys doing this or guys just trying to use side pressure with their hand outside their shoulder. That's how you get hurt. That's how I got hurt my first time. I messed up my elbow pretty good. And the last one was if you need advice, just ask people.
Yeah.
Like, even if you're like, oh, I'm nervous, I should message this guy. He's just gonna ignore me. Just message him, ask him. If they ignore you, whatever, ask somebody else. If anybody has any questions, they're more than welcome to ask me, and I will be happy. It might take me like a couple hours, depending if I'm at work or doing something, but I'm more than happy to help anybody.
I made just talking about just ask. I can give you a good example where the willingness of people to answer types of questions. When I first started reffing, I had a post or something about reffing. I can't remember what I said exactly, but I had I'm going to say, well, this Leonard Hartness private messaged me. He saw the post and he messaged me and gave me this long paragraph of, I mean, it was the most informative, and you could tell it was coming from a place of teaching. What he was telling me, you know what I mean? He was informing me and teaching me. And, you know, that tells you someone at that level willing to reach out and help you. But he could have scrolled right on by, but he saw an opportunity to help somebody that was trying. And I see that same mentality with a lot in the sport in general. People wanting to help, wanting to teach, wanting to better. And look, and let's be real, all of us, I would say every single one of us are better coaches than we are pullers. So,
Exactly.
Scott, what advice would you give to new
Oh
pullers?
man, I think Beau, my man, I think stole all my good ideas. But excellent points there, Beau. Hey,
Thank you.
I would say just go join a team or go do a little bit of table time, and not necessarily pull and pull and pull.
Yeah,
Watch. I want them to watch up close. Whereas if you're in a tournament, you're in a chair, so you're not right up and close unless you're filming the damn thing, right? But I want them to watch to see the lanes and especially be safe with the angles. The angles are everything. If you don't know your dangerous spots as a young puller, then you shouldn't even be on a table. I've seen too many chaotic breaks and injuries and stuff throughout my career. It's scary, guys, and it all comes down to just knowing those dangerous spots. And I think for a young puller, just figure that out. That's all. And it's not very hard to figure out. So
yeah, agreed. We was talking about I was talking with David Redmond today. We was talking about when he's practicing, very seldom does he actually go for hits anymore. It's, you know, you just get past the middle. And why keep hitting at that point? You know, you're not,
correct.
or you're just working muscles. You know, you just were doing strength training at that point, really. So, Nathan, how about yourself?
I got like 3 that I live by for new pullers, and that stay tight, bury your hip in that table, and if you can't see your thumb, say something.
Yeah, you're right. You're exactly right, and I think that I'm going that tagged with Scott's point, not seeing your thumb. Learn what a proper grip is, and this is where I screwed up, not having a very good coach when we started as a team. I was losing the grip because I didn't know what the hell to look for or to ask for or set myself up. I don't have it high. I don't have a good rise. I'm in there with my hand cocked. I'm not getting it deep. I'm doing, you know what I mean? I'm paying so little attention to what my grip is, and I'm just worried about hitting hard. That's all. That's the only thing I'm thinking about.
Yep.
And that comes from inexperience, being stupid, and not getting with the right people when you get started.
Yep.
Because it all starts with the grip. It all starts with the grip. You can't you can, strength is going to come natural. That's natural. You're going to build that, but the hand technique you need to learn. That's something you got to learn.
Yeah.
Well, fellas,
it takes repetition.
Do what? Say again.
It takes repetition. You got to keep practicing it too.
Yeah, exactly right. Now, you say that, and I've been working some things different in the last few months, just because I've been watching my style, and I'm like, something's got to give. I'm giving up too much here. And I was like, something's got to give. So I've been changing my whole style. And really, Nathan's going to be my first match of changing my style up. And I'm anxious to see how it goes because it's still uncomfortable to me on the table because I've gotten so accustomed to what I learned, what I never even learned, what I just started doing to the table is all I've ever known. And, I'm still trying to break those bad habits. So I'm really anxious for this weekend to see how it all pays off, really. So, fellas, I appreciate y'all's time. I know.
Thank you, Brad.
8 o'clock.
Thank you for having me.
It's hard to get y'all. Y'all have no idea how appreciative I am of y'all being able to jump on.
Thank you for having us, Alan.
I know I'll be talking to y'all, if not tonight, later on this week. And Beau, we'll miss you this weekend in Ohio, bud. But Scott, look forward to hanging out with y'all boys and having a good time.
See you guys in a couple days.
Yeah.
Good luck to you guys. Be safe.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.